everyone, Frontier Geek with you again. Today we're going to be looking at headlights. Specifically LED headlights. Any of you that own a Frontier probably know how absolutely horrible and inefficient and practically useless the original stock headlights are, which hence there's such a giant aftermarket and especially a very big market for people adding LED light bars. Which I have actually added 5 to my truck, although I do go some places that are rather unusual. It's probably not too common to be in a county that only has 1 police officer, but yet up in Maine there is a county which is the size of all of New England combined and has 1 state police officer and fishing game and things like that, but basically it's pretty much empty. Karen and I looked up the population. We found out that I believe she said in the entire county there was a population of 50,000 people. So quite empty. So good lighting is very important. But even if you do live in a city or near a city, as we're just outside of, well, we're actually between Baltimore and Washington D.C. now, so we're in tweeners. Regardless of that, decent lighting is definitely important. And so on the Club Frontier forum, that's been a big discussion. It's been ongoing for years. Are there any decent LED replacements out there? And one finally came to the forefront, and a lot of people have been talking about, and that is made by a company called Katana, and they're available through Amazon, and I did go ahead and order a set. One of the Club Frontier members, whose name is Raine, and he has Project Kira, is a very detailed and very involved truck. If you look up his profile on there, and he also has his own website now detailing a lot of these things, including the Katana install. So I'm not going to go through every single one of the details because I honestly can't really say I can do better than what he put on his website. I don't believe he has a video actually regarding it, but his photographs and commentary are really way more than average. They're quite excellent. And if you're not able to complete the project between what I show you and what he's done, it'd probably be best maybe to go to a professional then and have that done. So I really think between the two of us, if you have reasonably average mechanical aptitude, you should really be able to pull this off. This is really a very simple install. So I'm going to get right to it and start showing you the actual bulbs themselves and a couple of little things that you need to be aware of to make sure that you install them correctly. And after that, well, it's check out your new lighting, which is really pretty awesome. I've got one of them installed already, so I didn't start this video immediately at the very beginning of the install, and it is really bright. It's noticeably higher output than what's supposed to be the high output incandescents that I had in there before. And the color range obviously is a super white that no bulb can ever match, and is going to go very well with my LED fog lights, which I installed a few months back. So let me get right to it here. Okay, so here you see obviously an old standard style regular light bulb from a headlight, in which this one is a Sylvania super bright or white star or something of that nature. I forget exactly what they call these, and for what they are, they're really not bad. The problem is that this is old tech. Light bulbs are never going to be able to equal what you can do with an LED if they're properly designed, with that caveat, properly designed. So you can see here, so I put this guy down and we come over here and get a look at the Katanas, and these are pretty neat. So this has a cooling fan in the back. One little design flaw that I think that I wish that they had done would have been to actually put some kind of a screen over the fan. So yeah, this is spinning and it's right out in the open, which seems a little unusual, but that's about the only thing that I think that I could really say that I have any observational complaints about. The entire body here, as you can see, minus the ring, which retains the headlight when it's installed. This is all aluminum and looks to be very nicely machined. I'm very impressed with the whole quality of the kit. This is the driver. This housing is aluminum as well. This is not plastic. You can hear how it makes a nice thump. And so that's for heat dissipation, obviously. And here you've got a heavy-duty connector here on the end with a screw-on locking collar So yeah, this is a very nicely built kit. And as I was saying, finding a decent LED headlight, there are so many different kinds out there, and most of them will output more power, more light than a stock headlamp, but where is it going after that point? If you're just bouncing it wildly around the universe, all you're going to do is blind other drivers and make them very angry, and you're probably going to be angry at yourself as well, because you're actually going to have an inferior light installed in your truck, and you spent money, and now you're figuring out, hey, I end up throwing these away and going and getting another one. So these are actually pretty well made, as I had pointed out, and I believe that this is going to be a great install. Some of the guys have been using these for a couple years now, but like I said, there are a couple caveats. So this ring here is actually installed on the lamp when you get it. So you have to pull this off, then you put the factory mounting ring back in place, and then you go ahead and slide this back on again. Now I'm working on this video solo, so it's going to be pretty much impossible for me to do that while filming it, but obviously you can see the idea, so I'm going to go ahead and pause, push that through, get that reassembled, and then come back. Alright, hey everyone, I'm back again. I had the camera paused for a moment, and let me show you what's happening here now. Okay, so this is a very, very crucial detail step. This black ring can be rotated, and it has a little spring-loaded, looks like a ball bearing, which actually keeps it from spinning once it's in place. So you take your old headlight and you lay it like this, and you put them next to each other, and you see that this tab right here is for mounting. That snaps on the electric wire, obviously, the connector. That faces up when it's installed in the truck. So the very important thing is that you must match these two. So if you look right here, you'll see that the cutout over here and the cutout on the factory headlight are in the same location. And that is critical. The other thing that you want to look at and make sure is when you're looking at it like this, the wire harness is coming out the bottom, and you see the two LEDs clearly here. Those are the emitter elements on both sides. The one on the top must be further forward. So you see this weird C-shaped kind of thing going on here. And where that is, you need to have that like this, facing upwards as the lamp is standing up. And this is exactly how it would be setting in the truck. Here it'd be looking straight onto the headlight from outside. And if you were standing at the fender and could see through the fender, you would see this. So that is the most critical step. You must make sure that this mounting ring is oriented properly. And as I had mentioned, that fellow Raine and some other people here on Club Frontier had documented all of that. So this is nothing that I'm inventing. I'm not taking any credit for this. I'm following their lead, which has been hugely helpful in a lot of the upgrade projects that I've been doing. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this installed back into the truck. Again, let me give you a real fast overview before everything disappears of what the bulb itself looks like. There's again the cooling fan and the heat sink. Right, and then like I said, you've got this giant aluminum housing, and then you've got this really nice driver unit, and there's the factory plug, of course. This is all plug and play, no soldering, no cutting. It's really wonderful. All you need is the time to swap these in, and probably some wire ties to figure out where to mount this unit to keep it from bouncing around. But that should be really pretty simple. You can see right here there are actually cutouts through the actual aluminum housing where you can push a wire tie through, which is really, really nice. And that gives you, basically solid mounting points. And then as I had noted over here, this collar actually joins these two pieces of cable together, and that actually plugs in, and the plug itself has a key as well, so that it's impossible to plug it in incorrectly or backwards. It'll only go in one way, so be very careful with that. Don't try to jam it in. If it's fitting in smoothly, then obviously you've got it oriented correctly. You go ahead and tighten down this docking collar, and that's pretty much it. You turn your headlights on and you go. The important thing after you make sure that you've got everything oriented correctly, as I pointed out, is that you're going to need to re-aim these. Your factory aim is probably going to be rather incorrect. A lot of people had noted that their aim at that point was very low. As I had mentioned, Raine has a awesome write-up on how to install these and also how to actually aim them. So I am going to request his permission to link to his website and just link to that page, because it seems to me kind of silly for me to attempt to reinvent the wheel when he's done such a very good job already of documenting this. And like I said, I will definitely give credit where credit is due. These guys have been working on this project now for several years, documenting what they've done, documenting what vehicles they've installed them into, what kind of problems they ran into. Did they ever have one of these die? Which, yes, there have been. There have been a few failures that seem to be more prevalent back in the time when this was a more newly released type of unit. So I'm assuming that they've worked out whatever production bugs they may have had, and these should be pretty reliable. I'm not hugely concerned about that as being a problem because I have so much auxiliary lighting that basically, heaven forbid, if one or both of these actually failed, I would still be able to drive home. I'd have a lot of people rather angry at me because I'd have to use my light bars to illuminate the road, but at least I wouldn't be stuck calling AAA or one of my friends to come pick me up and have to try to explain to them, yeah, my headlights just actually quit, and so now I can't even see where I'm driving, which would be kind of embarrassing. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to get them installed into the vehicle, and as I had noted, I'm going to request permission to link to that aiming guide, and if for whatever particular reason he decides that he doesn't want to do that, then I will go ahead and produce a supplemental section for this video, and I will document me doing the aiming, and then therefore you'd be able to follow that and get yours set correctly as well. All right, until next time, have fun and enjoy your truck.